Hey Wilder folks, Alicia here. For today's 6-minute mobility, you're just gonna need yourself unless you find it difficult to get into a quad stretch. In that case, you're going to need a band or a sweater, something to extend your grip so you can stretch out those quads. All right, let's get right into it. Get you out of here in 6 minutes or less. Now, before we begin, I want you to watch me do the first 2 exercises and then we can do them together. So exercise number 1 is going to be a prone lift. So what I'm doing here is driving my knee and foot up towards the ceiling. I don't want to use my back here, so I'm trying to relax as much as possible through the spine and really trying to drive this using my butt. And then I'm going to reach back and stretch out my quad on that side. Okay, now that you've seen that, let's get into it. I want you to find a spot where you are prone, hanging out, and we're gonna start by lifting that one knee and ankle towards the ceiling. Sometimes I need to remind myself to relax that back. Then let's grab our ankle with our hand and just hang out in this position. Really breathing into that stretch and making sure I'm not going around it. So don't let that knee splay out to the side like crazy. Keep it pointed straight towards the back. All right, now we are going to let go and go back into those quad raises or heel raises. Good, grab that ankle again on the same side and stretch those calves. We're gonna be repeating the lifts and the stretch one more time on this side. All right, let go of that ankle. Drive that heel towards the ceiling. And feel it in your booty. Good, last time. Really lean into the stretch of the quads this time, relaxing everything and finding a spot where you do feel a stretch across the front of the thigh, maybe even across the front of the hips. Good. And now let's repeat this on our second side. So to begin with, getting set up, driving the heel towards the ceiling. 3, 2, 1. Now catching that ankle with your hand or with your strap and relaxing into that stretch. Now the tighter we are through our hip flexors here, the more we might feel our low back getting flexed. And if that's happening to you, I want you to slightly turn on your core. So pull your belly button through to your spine and kind of tilt your pelvis backwards, kind of like tucking your tail. All right, and now 10 more of those lifts. Good, catching that ankle again and relaxing into this stretch. Relaxing, but you still should feel a stretch here, so don't just be sleeping on me here. All right, this is our last time to do our lifts. Three, 2, 1, and catching that ankle one more time. All right, shaking out of that, we're now gonna do scorpions on both sides. So you're gonna take one heel, bring it up towards the opposite hand, and then repeat the same thing on that other side. I want you to do these slow and with intention. Feel your spine rotating. You should feel a stretch through the front of the leg that's reaching. And you're actually gonna feel your butt working when you do this range of motion too, especially since we already worked it a little bit. You can push through those hands on the ground a little bit as you're going, but I want that action mainly to come from your lower body. All right, and now we're gonna finish up with one of my favorite all-time exercises, 30 seconds of T-spine rotations per side. So my knees are at 90 degrees. My hips are at 90 degrees. I'm giving a big thumbs down to the world, and with super glue here, without moving those knees, I'm gonna go as far overhead as I can and then come back down. So if you let those knees shift, you could probably go all the way, but instead, I want you to stack those knees and work through your current range of motion. What you're probably gonna find is as we do this for about 30 seconds, you are gonna go from not being able to go very far to being able to go a lot further. Shocking, I know. We've got 3 more of these left. And the last one. All right, let's do our second side. Knees are super glued together. They are at 90 degrees. Hips are at 90 degrees. Big thumbs down to the world. And then bring it up and overhead. And if you're like me, you'll notice that, yeah, now this rotation, I'm not quite going as far as I finished going on side number 1, but I trust that as I get warmed up through this rotation and reaching, I'm gonna be able to go farther. Three, 2, and 1. All right. That is it for today's mobility. Subscribe so you don't miss another one of these videos, and let me know how I did with the 2 camera setup, because I am totally new at trying to use 2 cameras at once. All right, have a WILDR week. We'll talk to you guys soon.